Hello, and welcome to Wake and Bake News, and I'm your host, Shampoo VTA, and boy, I got a good show for you today. I did a lot of research last night. My husband has had to put up with me raging throughout the house about what a bunch of filthy, bigoted, disgusting cities are in California, like Ventura. And now I'm about to show you why I'm so amazingly enraged at our localities, and now we all know what kind of filthy, disgusting pigs they really are. Poor husband. Pity him. He had to listen to me as I researched all this. Okay. Remember that we started we talked yesterday about how the League of California Cities was the ones that pushed for local control in our regulation of medical marijuana. Do you remember that? Well, it turns out it's more like a cabal of the League of California Cities, and there's a hell of a lot going on here. This is Jim Crow for marijuana. And I do believe that it is the beginning shot of a bigger war I'm going to call the Great Drug War of 2016. I think that alcohol users and marijuana users and tobacco users are about to go to war. People that profit off of it, people that use it, I believe that they are about to muster their forces and literally, like the soda wars or the cola wars, go at each other to see who comes out on top. So there is still a chance marijuana could lose this, because apparently tobacco and alcohol is moving quickly and heavily against us in California, and they're using our city councils to do it. Marijuana Interrupted. This is the cover story from SantaMariaSun.com. Marijuana Interrupted. New local medical marijuana cultivation laws leave growers and patients trying to figure out what they all mean for the industry. 16 months ago, Kate Tyler, we're going to stop and get rid of him because he wasn't making noise a second ago, but I can't have that today. So I can't have Tiki competing with me here. You guys got to hear me, not him, so he's got to go in the next room. Okay, 16 months ago, Katie Cattell received a grim diagnosis. She had an aggressive form of breast cancer already in late stage that had spread into her lungs. She was told she only had 18 months to live, 18 months to 2 years to live. With 2 to 8 months left to go, she arrived in Delhi Patio in Arroyo Grande with a gust of energy, sat down in the picnic table and pulled out the medicine that's been at the forefront of keeping her alive. It wasn't an ominous cluster of orange pill bottles. Instead, she had a set of homemade herbal remedies: a green salve in an unmarked white plastic container, a small clear canister holding a potent, thick green oily tincture, and a syringe without a needle holding an even and more potent, thick oily substance. I don't like to have this out too much in public, she said about the syringe, although Cattell was uncomfortable about having all her medicine out in public. She wasn't shy about what it was, how it helped her, and how she wants to incorporate it into a future career. All three concoctions were some of the medical marijuana extracts, commonly called concentrated cannabis. They contained high amounts of cannabidiol or CBD. In California, they would also contain all the other cannabidiols, which means you would get the complete complement of medicine instead of just CBD, which is what basically the federal government's trying to pull. They're trying to pull some kind of ridiculous fucking monopoly on marijuana by forcing it to be in a pill when that's ridiculous. You can grow it in your backyard. I mean, that's ridiculous. They just love their monopolies. Remember how much they really enjoyed having Ma Bell and put us through that misery? Can you imagine if we allowed them to have one medical anything kind of monopoly in this country? What kind of a nightmare that would open up? We don't want that, okay? Because it's going to be called past practice, and they'll be able to apply it to other industries and fuck us, okay? So you cannot allow them to get in marijuana, because if you do, then your medication is going to be targeted next. I tried to tell this to cigarette smokers. They're coming after us. Who do you think is next? And my custodian, oh no, they'll never. Too many people like smoking. Oh, they'll never go after cigarettes. Next thing I know, he's across the street in the rain having a cigarette break because he's no longer allowed on campus. He's no longer allowed in a restaurant. He's no longer allowed in a bar. And trust me, that was shocking to him. And I was like, I told you. They use these laws so they can get to you. We're not the target. They've already got us under their thumb. They want to convince you that they need more regulation so they can apply it to you later on. Suckers just give away their freedoms. That's what happens here. Okay. Kyle has an associate degree in genturology, gerontology, I don't know what that is. Gerontology? Okay, gerontology. And is close to another degree in nutrition. Oh, she's a nutritionalist. Oh, okay, I know what a nutritionalist is because I worked with nutritionalists when I worked in the cafeterias. Nutritionalists are the ones that set dietary standards for the kids in the school system. Okay. Works and her caregiver, who grows several plants somewhere in the unincorporated areas of the county to produce certain types of marijuana that are high in CBD and low in THC. She'll make, see, they still have THC in them. She'll make a concentrate out of those plants using methods with low enough temperatures to retain the medical benefits of the CBD and minimize the psychoactive effects of the THC. And the end results are a salve that she applies topically to her breast once a day. Wait a minute, huh? She has breast cancer? And she's using a salve on her breast for the breast cancer? Oh, I'm getting my THC fucking lotion I've got, and I'm going to start using that on my boobies. Oh, really? That's brilliant. Because I have noticed when I use the hemp oil lotion on my face looks younger the next day. It's creepy. And I've also noticed that with Becca from MJ Straight Talk. Since she's moved to Denver, her last show, she was glowing. Her skin was glowing. Wait till you guys find out that this is like the fountain of youth. Oh, are you going to fucking be pissed at the government? Holy shit, there's going to be people with pitchforks and fire when they find out what this is, what they've been denying you. It's a fucking, they're trying to fucking give you the disease and the cure. The end results are a salve that she applies topically to her breast twice a day, a tincture with slightly reduced potency that she'll drink in a tea in the morning, and the high-potency oil, kept in a syringe for measurement purposes, that she administers through a suppository. She allows the medicine to absorb much more efficiently and reduce the unwanted high feeling. Cattell doesn't like being high, she said. Neither does my husband. He doesn't enjoy the feeling either. Adding that before she started using cannabis medicinally, she smoked only about 6 times in the last 20 years. When she first started using medicine in heavy doses, almost a year and a half ago, Cattell said that the effects were strong and took a few months to get used to. But she knew right away that it was a path to take, rather than the other option, which involved a choice between 2 different forms of chemotherapy, neither of which she said had been proven to be particularly effective in her diagnosis of stage 4 metastatic triple negative breast cancer. So she is using marijuana lotion for breast cancer, ladies. This is the secret the government is keeping from you. Go and destroy them. They are Satan's spawn. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, when you find out what they've lied about, no wonder they're trying to just stick with CBD. Because they know there will be some kind of fucking trial for them. The evil that they have perpetrated is unspeakable. Cattell doesn't like being high. When she first started, it took a while to get used to the medicine. I don't see any reason to be sick if I only had 2 years to live. Cattell said I wanted quality of life over quantity of life. Cattell was again diagnosed with an aggressive cancer. This time it was HER2 positive breast cancer found in July 2015. She continued to use the CBD oil, which she said doesn't necessarily cure cancer, but it helps minimize the and mitigate it, and is also using the drug Hespetin and Perjeta, which are antibody therapies that fight cancer using different methods than chemotherapy. Within 5 weeks of treatment, a scan showed that her lymph nodes were clear and that her tumors were basically gone. When you find out what these people have been lying to you about, holy shit. And CBD is them saying that CBD is the only medicine in marijuana is just another one of their lies. Now, if you were in a court of law and it had been proven to you that this witness had lied to you, you cannot believe everything else this witness says. You must take everything now with a grain of salt, because this witness has proven they are capable of lying. Remember how they lied about the safeties of tobacco back in the 60s? Remember how the government did not do shit about that? Remember how it was advertised through newspapers and movies and popular culture? And now they're fucking with marijuana because they don't want you to know. I'm telling you. My town here in Ventura has 2 huge hospitals in the center of town that the city council pushed the CMH to build. And they said they wanted to have this huge hospital that would be a shining beacon, because the city council figured out how to give you the disease on Main Street, and then they got the cure over here at the big fancy hospital. They got wine tasting. All the restaurants who serve alcohol, they got the disease and the cure, son. They got the disease and the cure. It's amazing what happened, Cattell said. It literally stopped my cancer from spreading. Cattell, 56, said that though her healing process, she's also been able to help her caregivers who's fighting squamous cell carcinoma that has moved to her lungs. Oh, so she has lung cancer. Though the use of the concentrate she's made for him, through the use of the concentrate she's made for him, she said his tumors have shrunk by 2/3. I'm telling you, these people are fucking evil. They have 666 right on their forehead. Anybody that is helping with this prohibition, even in the most backhanded way, is a spawn of evil and needs to be fought with everything you have, because and don't let them even fucking squirm. They're obviously not even, they're so scummy, they're going to try to talk out both sides of their face. And I'm going to show you that here, that they are such filthy trash that they talk out both sides of their face. I'm really passionate in helping people with this, Kyle said. As a nutritionalist, I think this is part of an overall health plan for people. Fuck yeah, it is. Fuck yeah, this girl is. She's got it, No wonder she's being cured of her cancer. Those plans, however, are on hold, in part because recently passed state laws put a wave of local regulations in motion that will ban or restrict the cultivation of medical marijuana in cities and unincorporated areas. The policies, which are hurriedly being passed to beat the March 1 deadline and may or may not be permanent, are being are bringing significant scrutiny from those in the medical marijuana industry and the patients who rely on it, like me. I sat here all last night and I started going, I want to know who the fuck is paying my city council. I want to know what their ties are. I want to know what the fuck motivates them to block medical marijuana dispensaries. And now I'm going to put my teeth right in their neck. I am so fucking angry. I am like Arab Spring pissed. How fucking dare you? You tout alcohol on Main Street like there is no fucking tomorrow. Un-goddamn believable. I'm sick of this bullshit town. Pull your heads out of your bigoted ass. I don't care that you're a flippin' racist bigot taking money from tobacco. I don't care. I don't care that you're trash. I don't care. Get out of my business right the fuck now or you're going to have trouble. Because I will fight you. In October 2015, Governor Jerry Brown signed a state law that many say will bring the state into a new era of medical marijuana policy, except for one tiny little thing. You see, when they did this, the League of California Cities insisted that they would not sign on to this unless they were given local control. And it turns out that some of the people in these local areas are in bed with the League of California Cities, intimately tied to them. And they have their own bigoted reasons why they're doing this. Because the people that give them money to be reelected don't want alcohol to be knocked down a peg by marijuana in California. This is the beginning of the great American drug war. Not the kind of drug war where they bust you for alcohol, where literally the people that use or benefit from these different drugs are now going to go to political war with each other to see who comes out on top. And I know who the winner's going to be. Oh, wait till I get my hands on these bitches. Already, there are two major pieces of law that are complicating life for both local policymakers and those in the industry. First, an applicant must get some sort of a local authorization like a permit or a business license in order to get a state license. That requirement is concerning people in the local industry who have spent years navigating and adapting to rather prohibitive local approaches to medical marijuana, starting with coordinating raids as the industry began to develop, and more recently, strict zoning, what I like to call Jim Crow for marijuana. Strict zoning and land use laws. Yeah, bigots. Fucking bigots trying to keep their fucking prohibition. No city will permit a brick and mortar dispensary because they're scum. You can go down to Main Street and you can drink until you die, and no one will hardly do a fucking thing about it. But by God, they won't have a brick and mortar dispensary. By God, oh no. No, they can't deal with that. These people are filthy trash. And they will come up with all kinds of fucking lame excuses about how they don't have resources to monitor a dispensary and all the drunks around this town. Brick and mortar dispensaries. And the county has shut down a handful of applicants. Some cities have banned mobile dispensary services, which is impossible because you would have to put up a barricade and check every car that came into your county. The only way you could do that is call some dispensaries, and I'm sorry, I get deliveries. Let me tell you how this goes. And it's hilarious. I'll do a little impersonation. Hi, I would like a delivery. Kelly Davis? Oh, yeah. Hi, it's nice to be back. Thank you. Well, I wanted to get like about a gram of wax. I like this that I saw on your list. And I'd like to get an 8 of that kosher kush that I had last time. It was really good. Yeah. I'm very happy with your service. Thank you so much. Oh, it'll be a few minutes. You guys had a little emergency? Let me guess what that little emergency was. Okay. No problem. Be here in a few. Thank you very much. Oh, they had a little emergency. You know what the little emergency is? Their driver got busted. So they coordinate, boom, 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 and cover their deliveries anyway. So much for your fucking dispensary ban. Your delivery dispensary ban. You dickheads. You're losers. If you want to know what's really going on, look at weed maps. And I'm going to show you some of that. Also, I got so many exciting things lined up. This is just the tip. This is just me tipping off to what I'm about to dive into with what's really going on with the League of California Scummy Bigoted Cities. Most growers have yet to obtain formal authorization. Second, a stipulation in one of the laws says that local governments must have some sort of regulatory framework, like an ordinance, in place by March 1st, 2016, in order to maintain control over cultivation. In response, every single city in northern Santa Barbara County and SLL County has approved or is currently considering a ban, mostly because the League of California Cities, that was the one that made sure the ban was implemented in the regulations, is the one that is recommending almost exclusively bans to all the California cities, and that's why like 80% of the cities in California now have bans. Not because of the March 1st deadline, but because this is a tricksy little game that they're playing to keep their prohibition. Somebody put that March 1st deadline in there and kicked this off, and when we find out how that happened, then we're going to start unraveling this big, huge piece of crap. Oh, what a tangled web we weave when bigots first practice to deceive. Second, a stipulation in one of the laws says that the local government must have some sort of regulatory framework. In response, every single city in northern Santa Barbara County and SLO County has approved or is currently considering a ban. Several city officials have said there was no opportunity to do otherwise because it would have taken too long. It would have taken too long. But you already knew this was going to happen because you're a member of the Coalition of California Cities and they already fucking had you all fucking lined up to do this, so this was part of your bigoted plan. Stop lying to me, bitch. Taking too long to hash out guidelines for cultivation. Hash out. I guess that was a funny joke to them. I guess, yeah, this is their Jim Crow funny haha joke. In December, Paso Robles Community Development Director Warren Frace, told the Sun that meeting the deadline is the first step, and it would be up to the city council as to whether they want to go back and create a permissive regulation down the road. Let me guess what that answer's going to be. No. Because their little masters, the tobacco company, won't let them. You want money for your next campaign? Do as I say. Jump when I say jump, little councilman. Jump when I suck my big tobacco weenie. That's right. That's what's going on. In December, Paso Robles Community Development Director Warren Frace. Yeah. We know this is an issue that's going to continue to evolve, Frace said. Oh, I'm sorry, it's Frace. We're trying to comply with the state's deadline and make sure we have the ability to maintain local control. Local control. Racist control. Bigoted control. White control. Fucking control. You know what I mean? Control. Control. Check out that word control. But that March 1st deadline was a mistake. Yeah, we fucking know it was. Okay, so they put in this fucking mistake. They got all these guys to jump, and by the ways, I've got the bitch from Paso Robles on fucking video saying why he has the ban, and then this bitch goes and says, I have a I have a marijuana friend. I have family members that use medical marijuana. Golly gee willikers, I am not really against marijuana. Liar. That's like saying, I have a Jewish friend. I have members of my family that are gay. So did Dick Cheney. Like he gave a shit about his own daughter. So I got that video right here.
Local control has always been my concern. This, however, reminds me of SB 375 and AB 32, where we were promised none of it would be implemented until and unless the state provided us the funds to do so. That was our promise, and so we supported those things. What happened? It got out of the Assembly, it got to the Senate. They would only pass it if that got thrown out, and they didn't have the money. So the author yanked it, and it got passed because we didn't have a chance to pull our support. So if you trust the legislature, and you trust that what has been said, that this is going to be changed, and we won't have to live with that March 1st deadline, then we can do something other than what's recommended here tonight. But we have to do something if we have any doubt that the legislature might not get this passed before that deadline is reached. And there is no guarantee that the legislature will pass that. I honestly believe that to protect local control, we have to adopt one of these options. Speaking to the option A or B, A would be the easiest way to go because there's almost no additional policing or anything needed. B is more difficult, but B provides other problems. Those who are using medical marijuana are frequently in cooperatives. Those cooperatives do require them to produce some marijuana in order to offset the cost of the delivery and receiving their marijuana. And it does have benefits. Many people in severe pain, they have two options. Use a heroin derivative or use a marijuana derivative. Pardon me? I have family members who are involved with this and have had to make that choice. And they don't smoke, but they do use marijuana in a particular way with the doctor's recommendation, where they ingest it for purposes of pain control. I have listened to this in hours and hours of discussion at the state level, and very carefully crafted this so that the state would not have full control if we did our responsible thing. Now, I do agree too that this is a rush job, and this probably isn't perfect.
Mom! Dad! It's evil! Don't touch it!
But if we don't act tonight in a reasonable manner, we're not going to have a chance to do anything better later possible. I would recommend option B and urge the state to do better regulation of the medical profession as to who gets that permission. The use of prescription is an anomaly because doctor cannot do a prescription for marijuana because they're federally licensed and it's not allowed under federal law. They can give a letter that allows them to use medical marijuana recognized by the state of California. It's a completely different thing. But the problem is that that letter to many doctors doesn't seem like a prescription. And therefore, unfortunately, as in every profession on earth, there are those who are lax and those who are really good. I would continue to urge the state to make sure that this is prescribed or allowed only on a legitimate medical basis. But we will have to come forward later and do some amendments so that we can recover any costs of policing, any costs that we might be incurred by us in order to make this work. But I do agree with the idea that we do have to have some compassion for those that need this. And there are people in this community who do. And I would support option B on that basis, intending to come forward later with better refinement of this as we know more from the state and as we learn more about what the best way to do things is. Thank you.
Because I happen to know that he's intimately tied to the League of California Cities. Paso Robles. Here's my video. This is Paso Robles Councilman member Fred Strong. Boy, sounds like a very white name, doesn't it? Speaking on medical marijuana cultivation. It don't take 10 minutes to figure out what's going here. Does it? Does it? It don't take 10 minutes to figure out what kind of bigotry is this Jim Crow bullshit that's going on here. Okay, so now we know this guy is intimately tied to the California League of California Cities. In this other story, I'm going to link you to called Tock, the Fontana City Council votes unanimously January 4th to approve the first reading of an ordinance banning almost any medical marijuana activity, including cultivation for personal use within the city. Okay, and here she's quoted as saying, give me a second here. Oh wait, I quoted her in the actual thing on my post because I wanted to make fun of her. She's fucking lying, or whoever this is lying. They're lying. Hurry. Here we go. Okay, this person is quoted as saying that the Coronado City Council adopted the medical marijuana ordinance similar to the ones it passed 3 weeks ago that banned the cultivation, distribution, and delivery of the drug, but added additional language specifying that it was the intent of the city not to prohibit the delivery or transportation of medical marijuana to qualified patients, providing that the delivery and transportation is unrelated to any commercial cannabis activities. Look on my face when a bitch is lying, but they are talking like they're telling the truth. No, let me restate this. You're a bunch of inbred idiots that are making excuses to keep something out of your community that you look down upon because you're bigots. And marijuana is now proving that a lot of California cities are bigoted, not just against, poor minorities, but whites that don't do things that they like. This is some fucking Zig Heil fucking Nazi bullshit up in here. This is Jim Crow. This is a marijuana fucking Jim Crow. And who's behind it? Because who's paying these city councilmen to do this shit? California, this is from August 2nd, 2014, the Sacramento Bee. California Democrats accepting more campaign cash from tobacco industry. Democrats in the California Capitol have become increasingly willing in recent years to take money from cigarette companies, a source of campaign funds that was once so controversial it remains shunned by their state party organization. Ventura County Republicans take tobacco money. Smart move or bad politics? Brian Durnett here. A Ventura County Star blog, Ventura County. Dennert.blogs.venturacountystar.com. A classic Ronald Reagan ad from back in the cigarette companies were safe before the warning labels for politicians to accept donations from. Ventura County Republican Central Committee has solicited and accepted a large donation, asked for a large donation to fund their campaign for, this is old, so this is 2008, June 8, 2008, right? for their campaign to run for whatever the fuck, right? In Ventura County Democrats, a campaign issue and theme that will be used over and over until November. Okay, wait. Tony Strickland has plenty of people that support him on the Central Committee. Okay, so basically, what the fuck this is this is the conservatives trying to fucking control California with their bigotry, their racism, their fucking, and Democrats are now on board too, and I'm going to talk about that. But they fucking are totally in here with their bullshit. We want to control everything and keep the whites in a little white community that's perfect for them. All right? And this is more of that same Jim Crow fucking bullshit. Tobacco firm funds county GOP $50,000 from Ultra to aid Strickland's campaign, and this was back in 2008, and I'm sure that the campaign money is still coming in to this day. Now I'm going to take you to, okay, who could be some of the people that are supporting these councilmen? Well, it could be local restaurants. It could be local bars. It could be local alcohol distilleries, distributors that don't want competition, that don't want people to find out that no one has died from fucking marijuana, that few people have car accidents from marijuana. They, follow the money, have a very strong reason to try to keep their fucking monopoly going. Remember, my town here in Ventura, we got your back. We'll make you an alcoholic on Main Street, and then we got your cure over here in these big expensive hospitals we're building. How to sell alcohol in California. This is from Smart Business Revolutions. Smart Business Revolutions with John Corcoran, all right? The ability to sell alcohol is crucial to a variety of businesses, such as restaurants, bars, markets, and wineries. Alcohol is a billion-dollar industry, evidenced by the amount of use, the amount we as consumers drink, the amount we use. In 2009, in California alone, consumers drank approximately, I can't even fucking read this number, but I think it's 677 million gallons of beer. I can't even read that one. 133 million gallons of wine, or 100,000 or something, okay? And it's just ridiculous numbers. It's also a business that relies on entrepreneurs to participate. Indeed, some of the most profitable businesses in alcohol industries were started right here in California. For example, in 1992, the entrepreneurs in San Francisco set out with the goal to make the world's best vodka. The results? He created Sky Spirits, LLC, marker of Sky Vodka, and on one of the largest spirit companies in the United States. So what the cities are going to tell you is that they're afraid that that marijuana is going to turn into alcohol, and then the local cities are not going to have control. And yet, there's a story here about how Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who is the head of the DNC, is talking smack in Florida, but gets funding from alcohol. Let's see, that is extract to the Sun-Times, DNC chair, badmouths marijuana while courting alcohol packs. You see what's going on here? You think the soda wars was something? This is going to be the great American drug war, where alcohol tries to subdue anything that would threaten it. The tobacco tries to subdue anything that threatens it, and it will do it through campaign cash to your leadership. They don't give a shit about your health, your community, or your future. They're just trying to hem you in so you don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. You don't have freedom. You have a pseudo-freedom. So that was how to sell alcohol in California. And now that we know the DNC chair is taking money from alcohol packs, we totally know what the fuck is going on with that, right? Now I'd like to talk about my city council. here in Ventura, and I'm going to show you a picture of them right here. What do you notice about them that's all the same? Think real hard. Is it the color of their skin? I think it is. Did you know that the majority of people in this area are probably Hispanic? Whites are not the majority in this area, but strangely enough, they seem to be the majority in our business leaders here in Ventura, and they seem to be the majority on our city council. And the majority that's in a school where they have urine tests, and they have anklets, and they have people, security guards, and they have PO officers come on campus and urine test the kids. That place is filled with mostly Hispanic children. Do you see what's going on here? Because I do. These people are fascists. This is what my family fought against in World War II. I'm not having it. I'm not mock Schnelling in California. Because who God only knows what genetic type is going to be good enough in the end for scum like this. That pick and choose who gets what and whose side and what money they're going to take. Ugh. Totally filthy, disgusting scum. Yep. I think I wanted to go back to this one. Okay, North Coast Journal of Politics, People, and Art. This story is actually called Tock, and this is where I read from the quote from this woman or this person that said that, we're not really trying to, yeah, bullshit. Bullshit. We know what you're trying to do. And then you go, I have a gay person in my family, so I couldn't possibly be a bigot. Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? TikTok. The Fontana City Council voted unanimously January 4th with council members Linda Gardner absent to approve the first reading of an ordinance banning almost any medical marijuana activity, including cultivation for personal use within the city. The city already has a ban for medical marijuana dispensaries on its books, but for expansion of the prohibition, City Clerk Linda McGill told the Journal was to maintain the city's local control. Hear this word all the time? Local bigoted control. I think that the end result is exactly what my husband cried out when I read that story to him. He goes, well, it's obvious you can't give local control over to the cities. They're too bigoted. It would be like giving them local control over where black people could live, or gay people, or where they could gather, or what they could do. My family, I swear to God, is lying in Orange County in a graveyard with above their heads American flags because they served in World War II, this country honorably, to fight against this kind of filth, this kind of just, I'm better than you. I'm genetically more superior than you. I'm better than you. Oh my God. Oh my God. Who knows what they'd want to do to you, really? Who knows what they'd really like to get away with? Who knows? Don't believe their bullshit standing there like, I'm a city council member. I'm a nice person. I'm an upstanding. No, you're not. No, you're not. Remember Bell? Remember the city of Bell? Oh, they were upstanding council members too, giving themselves raises and pensions. Remember that? Here in Ventura, we got a city council that just approved a bunch of rich people on a hillside. Well, I got news for them. The rich people can buy the hill, but you can't buy the hollard. And if you know what that saying means, you'd be worried. You can buy the hill, but you can't buy the hollard. It means we ain't gonna like you. We ain't gonna like them. It's gonna get real unfriendly. McGill says the council will likely revisit the issue and that it's easier to pass strict regulations and loosen them later. Yeah, that's what governments do. Hey everybody, this is what governments in local cities do. They pass strict regulations and then loosen them later. They're so famous for that. Shit. Bull fucking shit. Who's lying now? Bigot. Prohibitionist bigot. Oh, I'm mad. This is bullshit. This is some fucking... I'm gonna go fucking Arab Spring on this shit so hard. I'm so fucking pissed. I am pissed. How dare you try to pull some Jim Crow bullshit on me? Who in the fuck does this trash think they are? The city already has a ban on medical marijuana dispensaries on the books, but the expansion of the prohibition, City Clerk Linda McGill told the Journal, was to maintain the city's local control of their bigoted attitudes. When state regulations go into effect, the deadline for the local ordinance to be placed is March 1st, prompting a statewide scramble for the cities and the counties. Bull crap. This was a plan from the beginning. They knew they couldn't stop the regulation of marijuana, so what they're going to try to do is they're going to try this Jim Crow bullshit even if we legalize. Because they're racist, fucking bigoted pigs. McGill says the council will likely revisit the issue, bullshit, and that it's easier to pass strict regulations and loosen them later, bullshit, rather than the other way around, bullshit. She added that the League of California Cities is promoting prohibition as a way for cities to maintain local control, regulatory control, and revisit the issue after deadlines. Revisit the issue after deadlines, that part is a lie. This first part is the truth. The League of California Cities is promoting prohibitions. The League of California Cities is promoting prohibitions. Bigots. The council will bring an ordinance back for a second reading on January 18th. If it's approved, then if you have the winning lottery number, what's going to be their fucking excuse then? They're going to have another one. Remember, there's money being put in their pockets to play this game. This isn't just them. As the Journal went to press, the Humboldt County Board of Supervisors was holding its own discussion of proposed outdoor medical marijuana cultivation ordinances, the same ones that did a speed run through the Planning Commission in November. The board, in addition to hearing loads of public comments, began to discuss how it would prioritize the issue before it and came to a consensus in order to reach the March 1st deadline. As the gears of bureaucracy run at full steam and into a fucking freight train, into a wall, that's what I see. They're running themselves into a wall where I get to call them bigots. Environmental groups may pose the latest threat to the timely resolution. Any law, as drafted by state and approved by the Board of Supervisors, must come in compliance with states that it won't have a negative impact on the environment to avoid a full-blown environmental review according to the state law. This is called the Mitigate Negative Declaration, and county staff has been drafting one of these documents as it writes a rewrite and proposes ordinances. At the board's December 15th hearing on the matter, Lovelace, I haven't heard that name since fucking Wild Wild West, and that was the bad guy. Lovelace pointed out that the county's challenges is greater than proving that its mitigated negative declaration is sufficient. It has to avoid a challenge to the document under California Environmental Quality Act. If someone or some group demands a state review, the county will miss its March 1st deadline, and said all controls of the local marijuana industry to the state we're done, Lovelace said. So, see, they regulated marijuana in California, but in the regulation they put away, so it's not regulated, it's only regulated in name only. We have to take the control away from the local cities. If we don't, you are allowing Jim Crow laws for marijuana to stand in California, and that is bigotry. And that is not appropriate in this country. Local Enviro heavyweights, the Environmental Protection Information Center, North Coast Environmental Center, Humboldt, Baykeepers, and Safe Alternative for Our Forest Environment Safe have seized on that fear. In a letter submitted to the board at the end of the year, the sometimes litigious groups, they like to fucking go sue people, write that the draft approval by the Planning Commission in November, which the supervisors are currently operating off of, does not match up with the, these environmentalists are very close to getting me to lose. Maybe I shouldn't support environmentalism in California if they can't play ball with us. Maybe I should just stop. My family has always supported environmentalism. We were in Autobond. We helped with the Lease Turn project. You are shooting yourselves in the foot here. I am going to not support you if you keep this shit up. Because now you're being a bitch. All but threatening a lawsuit. They're all but threatening a lawsuit. The environmental group writes that the Planning Commission draft strayed too far from the circulated MND and risks tying up the necessary and important ordinances in litigation. See, even environmental groups, you want to do that, then we can stop supporting you because you are supporting bigotry. You don't mean to be supporting bigotry, but you basically are. That's what you're doing. You're backhandedly supporting bigotry. Blindly working for the environment, but screwing the humans over around you, and we're the ones that support your movement. You can kiss my support goodbye if you keep this up. And I mean, that's years of support. That's like 30 years of fucking support for environmentalism in California. Don't screw this up, environmentalists, because you're about to. I have one last story. If you're not angry by now, you should be, about what's going on in California. But if you are angry, I have a light at the end of the tunnel. You see, some localities are starting to realize that they're about to be accused of a whole lot of very ugly things. And people are about to go diving into people's background and who they're funded by, and a whole bunch of scrutiny that most politicians start to shake and quiver under. Bring in the fire. Okay? I did a little of it here today, didn't I? In Santa Barbara, apparently that fire is starting to make the council members think twice. This is newshawk.com. Santa Barbara County medical marijuana cultivation ban gets a cool reception. Santa Barbara County's planning staff came up with a medical marijuana cultivation ban in a hurry to keep local regulatory control. But it hasn't been well received so far. You see, not everybody in California has their head up their ass, and some cities are going to use deliveries to suck money out of places like, hello, Ventura, the city of Ventura. The city of Ventura. It's going to watch cash flow away from the city to another city that they're in competition with because your leadership is dumb and bigoted, and they're acting on bigotry and stupidity and what the recommendations were from some stupid lawyer with the fucking coalition of California cities, and they're obviously a bunch of bigots that set this up to bring this marijuana Jim Crow. The Santa Barbara County Planning Commission and Montesino Planning Commission have both recommended that the Board of Supervisors not adopt a proposed ban. The supervisors will make a final decision on January 19th. Oh, which means they already had. City and counties are rushing to adopt cultivation rules before March 1st, a deadline created by a package of state laws known as the Medical Marijuana Regulation and Safety Act, which actually turned out to be how to put in marijuana Jim Crow. Hey, everybody, look, this is how you do it. You just let all the bigots in your area fucking make excuses and put up their own fucking laws. If local ordinances to regulate or ban cultivation aren't in effect, remember, this is a state that originally voted against gay marriage. That's what kind of filth live here. They need to be seriously chased to the edge of the ocean and forced to dive in. The local ordinance to regulate and ban cultivation aren't in effect by that date, and there isn't a legislative fix to the deadline. The deadline, then regulatory control reverts to the state where it should be, and if there's any place for me to vote for regulatory control of marijuana to go to the state, I will vote on that. That won't even be written until 2017. County staff recommended a ban on medical marijuana cultivation in all incorporated areas, with exemptions for qualified patients and primary caregivers, as long as the cultivation area is for personal use, located on a lot with a patient's residence and less than 100 square feet. Planning Commission did not support a ban, and were told there isn't time to come up with any other regulation as a placeholder to modify after the March 1st deadline. I don't want to take what seems to be a pretty viable industry and make it illegal. I just can't do that, Commissioner Daniel Blau said. Medical marijuana patients and growers spoke against the ban at the meeting and said the collective system is working well. Some patients can't grow their own medical marijuana and have had to drive outside of the city to get it if cultivation wasn't allowed, they said. Defaulting to a ban has felt wrong since the beginning, Commissioner Michael Cooney said. Remember, this is Santa Barbara, okay? And I'm going to show you a map of where the fuck this other assholes in Paso Robles, what the fuck their deal is, because there's a lot more going on up there than they're telling you. I know Paso Robles, and you think this town's got a white city council. Commissioners vote unanimously against staff recommendations of adopting a ban and suggested that the Board of Supervisors add a cultivation ordinance to its work program for 2016 to discuss it further. The city of Goleta is pursuing a cultivation ban. Santa Maria plans to ban cultivation but allows deliveries for medical marijuana, and Santa Barbara proposed ordinances allow local cultivation for personal use but not for sale to dispensaries. No, that's the black market. We're going to have, here between, Ventura is going to have one of the finest freaking marijuana freaking black markets ever, because I already see what the growers are doing. It's already beginning to grow. We're already selling to each other. And unless you're going to go bust grandma and grandpa next door, you're getting your ass into a whole bunch of fucking trouble. I already see it happening. These idiots have no idea what they're doing in our city council, and they're about to have this shit blow up in their face. Okay, this is from Tock. The city of Goleta is pursuing a cultivation ban. Santa Maria plans a ban. Santa Barbara proposed ordinance allows for cultivation for personal use. Ventura also allows cultivation for personal use, and then you sell the leftovers to your friends and family, and you make a tidy little sum. As a matter of fact, that's what I was saying, was one of my son's roommates is making more money as a trimmigrant than he was washing windows. Okay, so that's the end of my show that I worked so hard on yesterday to point out what the fuck is going on, okay? And the last note, the nail in this coffin, their coffin, I'm going to put in, is that Sean Parker put $500,000 into the Adult Use of Marijuana Act, AUMA. And he put half of it directly into AUMA. He put the other half into the Marijuana Policy Project that was doing a matching funds campaign, and with his $500,000 came another $750,000, which means that we've started now on basically about a million, bucks or whatever to start out with, It's going to take at least $10 million to run this campaign, and Sean Parker has pledged $20 million. So we're going to win. We're going to have legalization in California, and then we're going to have to fight Jim Crow. Marijuana Jim Crow. That's what's going to happen. So I'll leave you to think about this, to think about the bigots in your city here in California, and how they're using their bigotry to basically hem you into a box and make you sick and make you go to their hospitals that they insisted be, built so high and magnificent because they want to attract rich people from back east. And they want to provide them with both the poison and the cure from Main Street to Midtown. Filth. So I'll just leave you with that thought. And I'll see you Monday. And don't forget to watch the live shows this weekend. Hash Church, Freddie Pritchard, The Weed King, Stony Sundays, Weed Porn Daily, and keep an eye out for our friend Token Daily, who just got a new car in Hawaii and is enjoying his time in Hawaii. But I'm serious. Jim Crow for marijuana is what's coming next, people. This is going to be the great American drug war. Just like we had the soda wars, except alcohol and tobacco is going to try to reign supreme over your health. I'll see you on Monday.